Hey, gang. It's Tuesday, week before Christmas Eve, 2 weeks before the new year. Coffee time. Oh, I got to start my alarms. I got alarms now set up for. Oh, wow. That part's over. Okay. I've got an alarm set for each segment. And just with setting up, it's already 11:04, 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network, Yerg's Radio, which is coming huge developments for 25. Rainbow Radio, a relaunch. We did like a 6 or 7 month long test, kind of like a beta for the gay community. And I'm that generation. I can't say queer. I just that was a derogative to me when I was in my day, and yeah, I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But welcome to those joined on. Why would you just check in and then leave without like actually seeing anything? I get that on Instagram all the time. But let's get rid of that because we're started. It says we're going to start shortly. We did. We're starting. We're here. Welcome. I see you there on Up the Middle and Talk TV, both of my two channels that we launched to on YouTube. Thanks for joining us on D Live, Twitch, Facebook, Yerg's Radio, our player, which I think you can download on my page, which has been down. Oh, I got to call Jay about that. Yergs.com went down for some reason. I have no idea why. Yeah, it's not where I don't. Oh, that can't happen. I got to call Jay when I'm done with this. But you can get the link to the players on my various Facebook pages. We only broadcast live now to, which one is? I think it's one of the Up the Middle. Yeah, Up the Middle Radio Show on Facebook. Just search Up the Middle Radio Show. It's the red, white, and blue flags. It's our logo. You're familiar with it. That's where we broadcast directly to. All of the others, Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's, my professional page. What else? Anything else, really. The Yerger Group, Up the Middle, with my face on it. That one is the podcast. And I'm going to change. I think I'm going to do one for one of the pages for Friday's show and another one of the pages for Wednesday's show with Phil Blackett. I don't know. Because then I got the Tuesday and Thursday where I'm by myself. But I got a minute and a half to talk about morning motivation, and let's do that. I can make this fast. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Today's motivation comes from Shark, from the Shark Tank, the Shark Damon John, who says money will always flow from the uninformed to the informed. I just started something that I found that some other colleagues of mine have confirmed is a good thing. Doing an online business. I'm going to learn more about it after today's show. And let's put a swipe. There we go. Hey, everybody. Now you can see me too. I'm going to learn more about it after today's show. And I'm going to just use it as a steady stream of income. I mean, what would you rather do when you're sitting on the toilet? Seriously, what would you rather do when you're sitting on the toilet? Facebook, Twitter, that's going to censor you, LinkedIn, that I'm not even on anymore for that very reason, or make some money? I've got enough sitting here right now that I could spend the 45. It was basically $50, a little less than, for the software. I've got sitting around after a long to-do list later today and some appointments this afternoon, vet appointment being one. I got to check my schedule. I know I have no open time today. In fact, I'm going to cancel one of the calls till after Christmas. Oh, done with morning motivation. Got to get moving. I'm going to wrap up this thought and then we'll take a break. But it's Marcella, my previous Thursday host, who's probably, even if we do come back to Psycho and the Psychic, our Thursday show that was in our 11 a.m. Eastern spot, this is probably catching on and off, and it is. And so I'm probably not going to interrupt it any further by doing something that's way totally different during that time of day. Because I'm finally getting people to join me on a daily basis for political discussion. Mars is not political at all. And so we'll do each other. We'll do that show during another time of the day. Speaking of the rest of the day, speaking of the rest of today's show, Trump, today is, I just named it for the title, Trumpian Tuesday, or Tuesday Trump. Different places on social media, I tried different things. We'll see what works. But he's just all over the news today. He's now suing the Des Moines Register. So now we got another victim in his lawsuits against the media. The ABC settlement has sent some shockwaves through the rest of the media. Like it's a bad precedent, which I think it is, because, I mean, isn't that what George Stephanopoulos said? Isn't that true? He was found liable. And when you transfer that over to a criminal court, that sexual assault is rape. I don't know. I'm not going to say, because that's not the criminal law that I practiced. So I don't have the money to get sued, depending on how this online business goes. Then he has a surprise news conference. We'll talk about that and the takeaways from that. And I can take Damon down. But yeah, money flows from the uninformed to the informed. And there'll be much more on that in the next couple of days before we break for Christmas. Yeah, put the date on there. Okay. Let me put my... And then there's other stories about how his enemies and other members within the GOP are falling in line. I'm sorry, don't we have a system of checks and balances? And as somebody who looks at that for comedic purposes, I kind of liked it when they were fighting each other more. And then finally, he's wanting to privatize the Postal Service. And again, you're going to hear my thoughts about privatizing versus making them or maintaining them as a government service, which is what Joe Biden wants to do. So that's going to be in our Watching Wokies, because it's with less than an hour left, obviously. That's the only woke-related story I'm going to be able to talk about if we get that far. So, yeah, I'm way overdue now. Let me see. 8, 10. Yeah, I mean, I've got like room for one commercial, and we'll have to do the others later, which I'll do. So 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. You're listening to or watching Up the Middle, Trump Tuesday. We'll be back after this. I'm Yergs from Up the Middle. I've finally begun to reach out to my own listeners with Constant Contact. Use both my link and promo code CyberWeek24 and get 40% off your first 3 months. 40%. But more importantly, you'll have all the same benefits and tools that I do. All the same templates and all of the same success. So get my Constant Contact link where you get all of my links by going to yergs.com. You still have time to reach out to your contacts in time for the holidays. Go to yergs.com, click on my constant contact link, and use promo code CyberWeek24 for 40% off. Remember, you need both my link and the promo code CyberWeek24. Yergs and Constant Contact. We deliver success. Oh, yeah, we got that going. So good. Good. I'm going to start the next timer for tracking Trump. It's, what is it? I got to find something there. Give me a second. I'm doing a live spot. There it is. Momentum, fitness, and wellness. I'm thinking motivation. No, it's not motivation, but that's got a lot to do with it. And I just totally brain farted. Momentum, fitness, and wellness. I'm going to be there yet today, too. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight because there's no nap. I got to stop that, too. And this is one of the things that's going to help. I've redone my schedule. I've allotted for every minute of the day. And right after dinner, probably in the evening tonight, just because of some of the appointments I've already got, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to get back to that. I have already gotten back to that. And my gym since I've been here was Monster Mouse Fitness. Well, it's the same thing, but better. It's the same place. Just a rebrand. Not just a rebrand. It's an upgrade. Upgraded equipment, increased size of space, amount of space, both indoors and out. You can still throw the weights around. You can also do cross training. They've now got a plunge tank, one of those cold plunge things that's all the rage. Not my thing. My balls are small enough. I don't need them being any smaller. No shrinkage allowed. The sauna, on the other hand, helps me keep it at its grower and shower size. So, momentum. Build that momentum. Keep your Hernando Beach body. Develop that Clearwater Beach body. That momentum, fitness and wellness. US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates, Pasco County. That's where I go. Make the drive. You're not going to regret it. All you have to do, walk right up to the door. That's it. There's a QR code right on the door. That's what you do. Click that QR code, sign up while you're standing there, and you're in. Momentum, fitness, and wellness. All right. Let's track Trump. What's he up to today? God, what is he not up to today? Welcome if you're listening on Chatter. We are also on other platforms and the radio and video. So I invite you to the stage. Just stay muted for us for right now. If you have any comments on any of the stories we do that hand raise thing. I think there's one. Yeah. Just raise your hand. And then I'll tell you to unmic, kind of like you getting a front row seat for any of the phone calls. Speaking of phone calls, 1-888-88-YERGS, 1-888-88-YERGZ. Bitch at me. Let me know what you think of these stories. But first up, Trump suing the Des Moines Register. Like, really? Like $15 million towards his library for somebody telling the truth isn't enough. Now he's suing some little podunk town newspaper in Des Moines, Iowa. And let's see if it's better on that side. Yeah, I guess so. Top pollster for brazen election interference and fraud over the Harris poll. The Des Moines Register published pollsters Ann Seltzer's final poll showing Harris leading in Iowa by 3 points, despite Trump's eventual 13-point victory. Why did many of the America's major polling organizations get the election? I've told you, I've been telling you. I don't know about this, but I might have to side with Trump. I might actually have to side with Trump. First time for everything, right? Especially on this one. A lot of you are going, wow, is he feeling okay? I have been saying that these polls are BS. I have been saying that all they do, all they are there for, is to keep themselves relevant. That's it. Well, she got her wish. By the way, you can also call it 844 gay LGBT. So toll free also at 844 gay LGBT. And of course, only Fox is reporting on this. We'll talk about that in a second as well, because there's the obvious, the bias that I know goes both ways. Bias, bisexual, goes both ways. And that's fair to recognize. I have no problem with that happening. I see it. I know it. I've been telling you about it. The lawsuit was filed Monday night in Polk County, Iowa, under the Iowa Consumer Fraud Act and related provisions. It says it seeks accountability for brazen election interference. Oh, stop using that. Stop. For brazen election interference committed by the Des Moines Register, DMR, and Seltzer in favor of now defeated former Democrat candidate Kamala Harris through use of a leaked and manipulated Des Moines Register / Mediacom Iowa poll conducted by Seltzer and SNC and published by DMR and Gannett in the Des Moines Register on November 2nd, 2024. The lawsuit also against the parent company of the Des Moines Register, Gannett, who also owns other publications, including USA Today. The lawsuit continues by saying, contrary to reality and defying credulity, as in other words, credibility, a word your listeners and readers might actually know. I mean, I didn't even know it. Defendants' Harris poll was published 3 days before Election Day and purported to show Harris leading President-elect Trump, or former President Trump, in Iowa by 3 points. Former President Trump ultimately won Iowa by over 13 points, the lawsuit states. Seltzer released her final Des Moines Register-sponsored poll in Iowa just 3 days before the election, on November 2nd, showing Vice President Kamala Harris leading Trump by 3 points. That shock poll showed a 7-point shift from Trump to Harris from September, when he had a 4-point lead over the vice president in the same poll. Trump ultimately beat Harris in Iowa by more than 13 points. Seltzer's poll, though, had been hyped up by the media ahead of the elections, as her polling predictions in previous elections had been historically accurate. Trump attorney said Seltzer's prediction of Harris's 3-point lead in deep red Iowa. First of all, okay, let me stop you all right there. Iowa is not that deep red. Plenty of Democrats did very well in Iowa. And there's a very good defense for this. All she's doing, maybe it's skewed, and I think it probably is. But all it's doing is showing a huge change. I think what we saw was she got this poll out. The Register published it. Gannett ran with it. The rest of the media ran with it because it is the switch, the 7-point change from Trump being up by 4 to Harris being up by 4 is a huge change in a predominantly red state. I mean, it's not a dark red. Let's call it dark pink state like Iowa. So what did that do? We already know nationally Republicans were much more motivated than Democrats for whatever reason, Republicans had a better turnout, as did right-leaning independents, than left-leaning independents and Democrats. Hence the results. This is especially true in Iowa. That's it. This guy's such an asset. I get this hate mail on Facebook we talked about him before. This Brandon Messina, he's a butterface. Got a great body. He does. That's why I friended him. I didn't friend him because I know the guy. It's Facebook. I friended him because, he looks very gay and he's in Miami, so not far away. Turns out he's married to a woman and he's a MAGA Trump supporter. And just the things he says, he's such an asshat. You want to be on the right. You want to be conservative. I said it before, and I'll say it again. You can be a conservative. You can be a Republican. Looking for my dog. Sorry, not looking over my shoulder. Looking for my dog. You can be a conservative. You can be a Republican and not be an asshole. And that's what this guy is. That's it. So I don't think anything's going to happen with this because the easy defense is those are our numbers. We published it because it is very relevant to the upcoming election. And that's it. It motivated the right to get out and vote. They did. I mean, first of all, in a civil suit like that, you have to be able to show that you've been damaged. You won. How are you damaged? You won instead of by 13 points. You could have won by 15 points. It's not going to change anything. You still won. You still get those electoral votes. And that's it. We're done. So I don't think that one's going to go anywhere. But ABC News settlement with Trump sends chill through media. Yeah, this one I don't get. I don't get this one because let's see if we can back that up. Maybe we can play this.
ABC News will pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by President-elect Donald Trump. Trump sued ABC and anchor George Stephanopoulos in March after the anchor inaccurately asserted that Trump was found, quote, liable for rape in a 2023 civil case in Manhattan. A federal jury found Mr. Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming writer E. Jean Carroll, but it did not find him liable for rape. In his lawsuit, Trump accused Stephanopoulos of harming his reputation. The money will go to Trump's future presidential foundation and museum.
Oh, harming his reputation. Oh, that charming and that's painful. The stupidity behind this guy. Your reputation was harmed, Donnie. Oh. So there's that. And yeah. Okay. So if that was a specific item in that trial, which I don't remember, I'm not, we got a learning disability. This stuff doesn't stay with me very long. That's why I review it before the show. And I didn't get that far, obviously. So there's that. If rape on a civil, not a criminal, but civil level, not that rape is a civil thing, it's an act of violence, but if the rape charge was something that could have been part of the lawsuit and he was found not liable for that, then yeah, it's a bad thing to say that he was found liable for rape if that in fact is not the case. But I love that New York jury found Trump had sexually abused and defamed the writer E. Jean Carroll, but did not find that he was liable for rape. And, again, that was not my area of criminal expertise. It's fraud and counterfeiting and all the other stuff like that. So I don't know if there's a difference. To me, there's not. I don't touch a person sexually unless it's, something that we were both consenting to. But I guess his followers differentiate. So he also holds a surprise press conference, the first one since his reelection. Preserve access to the polio vaccine. Pledged to look at bringing down the cost of pharmaceuticals, like he's doing with groceries, and already backpedaled on that. But expressed doubts. Oh, we got to talk about this on Wednesday. Philip, you listening? Expressed doubts that his daughter-in-law might be Florida's next senator, when we thought she was kind of a shoo-in. That's interesting. I got to see something again. I'm just still learning so many of these different. Okay, that's on. That's hot. Okay, good. Chatter, I have to unmute myself before going into my own room. Discord, I do not. So anyway, all right, back to. I don't know that I'm going to get through all the 7 of the takeaways. We got about 4 minutes left. Provide some assurances on the polio vaccine. Trump defended his choice for health secretary, prominent vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but said he personally is a big believer in the polio vaccine and would preserve access to it. Isn't that kind of old news? Like, speaking of herd immunity, haven't we kind of beat polio of sorts? You're not going to lose the polio vaccine, he said. That's not going to happen. How about we are not going to lose the polio vaccine? Why don't you put yourself as one of us, as an American, and not some rich guy that just wants attention? Over the weekend, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who had polio as a child, spoke out in defense of the polio vaccine after a recent report disclosed that one of Kennedy's advisors filed a petition to revoke approval for the polio vaccine in 2022. Kennedy has long advanced the debunked idea that vaccines cause autism. Oh, I wish I had that. Not autism or polio, but there was a photo of 2 twins that, as twins are, born at the same time. One was given the smallpox vaccine. The other was not. They both acquired smallpox because vaccines are not blanket prevention. They're assistance. The one with the vaccine was still symptomatic, nowhere close to his brother, who broke out, remained contagious longer, was clearly sick with smallpox. Well, the vaccinated brother barely had a cold. And I don't know if the unvaccinated brother passed away, but there were lifelong effects from smallpox, given that he was not vaccinated. And that's 100-year-old data. Kennedy has long advanced the debunked idea that vaccines cause autism. Trump seemed to question whether there's a link, saying, "We're looking to find out," and remarked on the rise in cases of autism being diagnosed. There's something wrong, and we're going to find out about it. There are no blood or biological tests for autism. Instead, a doctor bases the diagnosis on a child's behavior. While the autism diagnosis has been available for at least 80 years, the definition gradually expanded to include milder cases, which are more common. A study last year found that about a quarter of the kids with autism, about 110,000 in the US, have the most severe version of the developmental disability, which has left them unable to speak or with an IQ below 50 or both. Said Kennedy. Oh, we're done tracking Trump? Jesus. Actually, this is Trump on Kennedy. He's been going much less radical than you would think. Is that if that's a concern, he's probably not a good candidate. Just saying. I think he's got a very open mind, or I'm going to put him there. You mean like Christopher Wray at the FBI? Trump's appearance is a clear break from Biden's style. The press conference was Trump's most extensive public appearance since his victory 6 weeks ago, a rare absence from the public stage for the former reality star. But it also underscored how, even while still president-elect, Trump has seized the spotlight from Biden, who still has a month left on his term in office. No, he's done. I mean, realistically, that's why he's called a lame duck. He's done. He knows it. He's cool with it. He's in retirement. Biden has not held a press conference in months and has had a limited public schedule. What's he going to do? What's he going to do that he can't do from the Oval Office? While Trump was addressing some of the top-of-mind issues of the day, including sightings of drones over the Northeast, Biden himself has been silent, leaving it to aides to try to calm the public. Leaving it to experts to try to deal with a drone crisis? Tell me how that's bad. I don't know, said Trump, if Laura will be a senator. Trump seems skeptical that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis would appoint his daughter-in-law to be a Florida senator, taking the seat held by Marco Rubio, who had been nominated for Secretary of State. I'm going to skip and run through these. Trump on intervening in the potential TikTok ban. Trump indicated he would look at intervening in the potential ban of TikTok in the U.S. The popular social media platform must cut ties with its China-based parent company or be banned by mid-January under a federal law. Yeah, let's see. Why would he help China? Because he wants to be like China? In a related story, and I'll put this whole link in the show notes, which will eventually appear on Nerds.com. TikTok asked Supreme Court for emergency order to block the U.S. ban. Everybody wants to be my friend. Yeah, no, that's not true. They're using you, and you're not smart enough to figure it out. Trump noted the difference between the first time he was in to take office 8 years ago and today, saying executives now want to meet with him. He said they were hostile back then. Everybody was fighting me. This term, everybody wants to be my friend. I don't know, my personality changed or something. Yeah, no, that ain't it. Oh, God, my nose itches. Trump already returning to the world stage. With multiple wars going on, Trump has sought to insert himself back on the world stage where he was really loved. He said he is working to get Israel hostages held by Hamas in Gaza to be released and had a very good talk with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Yeah, it's because you're both far-right nut jobs. But on Monday, he seemed to buffer expectations about his promise to solve the Russia-Ukraine war even before taking office, describing the conflict as a tough one and a nasty one. You're just learning that now? We are trying to get that war stopped, that horrible, horrible war. See, that's what he does there. Yes, war is horrible. Finally, he got one of them right. But he reiterates things like that. Kash Patel, what a fine leader, really fine leader, fine leader. No, he's not. That's why he's saying it that many times. And that's just an example off the top of my head. I don't know that he actually said that. God knows I don't want to get sued. All right, and that's the rest of that one. What was that? Yeah, well, he just said everybody wants to be his friend. I want to get to the post office thing. Now, we can talk about that when you get back. Let's take a break. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. You're listening or watching Up the Middle, Trump Tuesday. We'll be back right after this. Hey, gang. Does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yerg's. I'm burning right now leather-scented candle. That's right, leather-scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yerg's and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yerg's Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Yeah, it's Yergs, and I'm back. So continuing, want to do another live spot. You heard about this earlier. I'm going to do this one because it's definitely something that I know a lot of you are going to use for the holidays, and that's Constant Contact. I am reinventing, reevaluating, rebranding my online presence and reaching out to the listeners beyond just the show. I've been much better with sending out social media alerts that we're going to go live soon and what we're going to go live talking about. But also, a special guest in the studio, like a dog wants to sit in my lap. You coming up or what? Come here. Come on. I'm doing a show here. Let's go. All right. This big girl still thinks she's a small puppy and wants to sit on Dad's lap during the show. So yeah, Constant Contact. I got to get that link back up because I'll put it on. Go to the Up the Middle page after the show, and I'll put my Constant Contact link on both the Up the Middle pages and my Yergs page, Ross Yergs Yerger. I'll put my individual link, which you need. And then in addition to that, the promo code CyberWeek24. They've extended it from what I was told. And if you use both my link and that promo code, CyberWeek24, I'll put the promo code in the post as well. and I'll pin it to the top of the profile so you can see it easy. You get 40% off whatever membership you choose for the next 3 months. Now let's just do some quick math here. Say you pick a membership that's $10 a month. 40% is $4. $4 that you've saved times 3 months is $12. When month number 4 comes around and you're back to paying full price, which is $10, you've got 12 sitting on the side, ready to go. It's like month number 4 is free. If that does expire or you don't do it in enough time and you miss out, my deal alone, just me, is 30% off. So now let's do that math again. $10 a month, 30% off is $3. For 3 months, that's $9. Month number 4 comes along, you're paying $1. You're paying 10% of whatever membership you've chosen. And the rest, if you still got it set aside somewhere, goes towards that and you're paid for. So, and Constant Contact is not what they used to be. They're not considered to be spam. They're considered to be reliable email messaging and marketing. And their tools are just amazing. So go to those 3 pages until yergs.com is back up. Go to those 3 pages, up the middle radio show, or Ross Yergs Yerger. And I'll have links there. We're done today in 15 minutes, so I'll have links there in 30 minutes by quarter after. If you're messaging somebody, if you're doing marketing for your company, if you're doing a startup, you got to use Constant Contact. I love them. Restream, that's how I get this message to you. That's what we're using right now. $10 credit for new customers, restream.io. And of course, get your merch at buyblacket.com/yergs. Buy as in purchase, B-U-Y, Blacket, the color, ETT.com/yergs, Y-E-R-G-Z, for 15% off your purchase. Oh, God damn it, I got to do that too. Dog, you're going to be getting off my lap soon because I got work to do. All right, let's wrap up today. We got the BBC story and Trump buoyant as big business and former foes fall in line. I mean, are we not seeing the signs? Tell me you're not seeing anything that looks even remotely like an autocrat. Let's not even call him a dictator because dick is such a bad syllable. Autocrat. He is cutting out Congress. He already owns the Supreme Court. What more clues do you need? And of course, Time Magazine didn't help. And I get it. You know, who else are we gonna pick? Luigi Mangione? That's probably not a good idea. Whether he did something good or by sacrificing himself or not. But, you know, as big business falls in line, and he said this in his press conference, and here it is again. The first term, everybody was fighting me. This term, everybody wants to be my friend. No, they're using you. Oh, there's Trumpian. We use that for today's title. It may have been a typically Trumpian overstatement, but the contrast between the way his first presidential term began and ended and the current transition to his second term 8 years later is dramatic. In just the past few weeks, many of the president-elect's former critics and adversaries have made overtures. Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Mark Zuckerberg of Meta, and Sam Altman of OpenAI have pledged $1 million donations to Trump's inauguration festivities. TikTok CEO, I don't know what that name is. So the TikTok CEO met Trump at Mar-a-Lago, his Florida state, on Monday. During his first term, Trump sought to ban the Chinese-owned social media company, which conservatives at the time blasted as a national security risk. Oh, now we're okay with it? Let me guess, did this guy put some money up too? The president-elect now opposes a current effort to ban the platform, this time from the Biden administration. Oh, well, duh. Partially because it could help Facebook, which he has accused of aiding Biden's 2020 election. The ban is scheduled to go into effect before Trump is sworn into office. Others have also made the trek to Florida or plan to. The day before Thanksgiving, Zuckerberg, whose Facebook had once banned Trump, traveled to the president-elect's private club in Florida for dinner. Google head Sundar Pichai, also said he plans to sit down meeting with the president-elect. And when Trump appeared on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange to ring the opening bell and marked his announcement as Time Magazine's Person of the Year last week, senior executives from major U.S. corporations gathered to watch. This marks a time of great promise for our nation, Mark Benioff, head of Salesforce and owner of Time, posted on Twitter. We look forward to working together to advance American success and prosperity for everyone, not just billionaires and millionaires. The increasingly accommodating attitude isn't confined solely to the corporate bathrooms, to the corporate boardrooms. We'll talk about that story later this week, too, about how Johnson wants bathroom police on the Capitol. In the media, too, there has been something of a shift. MSNBC personalities Joe Scarborough and Mika, his wife, who host Morning Joe, visited Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump last month. It's time to do something different. And that starts not only talking about Donald Trump, but talking with him. Yeah, I'm for that. Let me set this up better. And on Saturday, ABC News, which is owned by the Disney Corporation, announced that it was paying Trump $15 million in legal fees to settle a defamation lawsuit related to remarks made in March by morning news presenter George Stephanopoulos. Defamation cases against media outlets require providing malice or a reckless disregard for the truth, and other news organizations have successfully fought off previous Trump lawsuits. With Trump soon returning to power, however, and the president-elect threatening new lawsuits on Monday against CBS, the Des Moines Register, and the Pulitzer Prize Foundation, the calculus for ABC and Disney may have changed. A protracted legal battle with the president-elect is seemingly deemed unpalatable. In Washington's corridors of power, a similar dynamic appeared to be at play. Senate Republicans who I try to get closer to my screen, but I can't with this damn dog in my lap. She's comfortable, though. That's important. Right, baby? You comfort on daddy's lap? Papa, your daddy's not here. My son is actually my son's dog, technically. But I think he's happy that I'm the full-time babysitter. Senate Republicans who had seemed weary of confirming some of Trump's more controversial political appointees, such as Fox News host Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense, are falling in line as they face increasing pressure not just from Trump, but from his supporters, who warn of dire consequences for the uncooperative. Even some Democrats are reaching out to the incoming Trump administration. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman said he would consider backing Hegseth and has expressed support for Trump picks. Some Trump picks. Other Trump critics in Congress are taking a pragmatic approach. On Sunday, independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders suggested he would be open to supporting vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Trump's health secretary, saying he shared concerns about the health impacts of processed food. That's it. 8 years ago, it was a different story. Democrats were pledging across-the-board resistance to the newly elected president. The day after his inauguration, the million took to the streets in protest. Yeah, I was there for that. Trump's political opponents dug in and fought for every inch of political terrain, successfully blocking conservative attempts to repeal Democratic-backed healthcare reforms and spend tens of billions of dollars on U.S.-Mexico border wall and fighting immigration law changes in the courts. This time around, such evidence of resistance, at least for the moment, is difficult to discern. Kentucky Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, who is Senate Majority Leader, sharply criticized Trump in 2021, but opposed his impeachment conviction because he has no balls, has been offering stern warnings about the dangers of an America First foreign policy. The 82-year-old McConnell, however, stepped down from his leadership position in the Senate earlier this year and is unlikely to seek re-election in 2026. There is little Trump or his supporters can do to threaten him at this point. Meanwhile, more than a dozen congressional Democrats have said they will skip Trump's 20th of January inauguration ceremony. I don't think that this is a time for celebration, Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett said. I think that if we had a traditional Republican where there were disagreements, then I would most likely be there. Okay, that's what's stupid. That's one of the things that's stupid. He's there. Accept it. I'm not saying you gotta, kiss his ass, but realize he's going to be the next president for 4 years, and hopefully that's it. And I told you this was going to happen. Steve Bannon is already saying that he wants Trump for a third term. He's not even in the second one yet. I told you this would happen 7 years ago. All right, baby, you got to get down. Last story, and then we got to go to some plugs. And Trump and Biden signal emergency fight over the Postal Service. Trump wants to privatize it. Biden does not. He wants to leave it as a government agency. When you privatize something, it becomes for profit, and in most cases, for profit only. This is a service industry, just like healthcare, which sucks. I don't know if any of you noticed or been paying any attention over the past 2 weeks or longer. That's privatized. We have the most expensive system in the country. And regardless of if it's 42%, like the shooter says, to show some respect for Blake's opposition to this, it's not at the top. It's not close to the top. That's what privatizing a service like healthcare does. All right, I got to wrap up. I got to be out of here on time. What do we got left here? Yeah, there we go. So this link will be in the show notes. Links to it or where we can get it. I'll keep you up to date on my social media about Yergs.com. I'm going to call Jay right after this call. Limit Break Digital, by the way. We can talk about that. He does do great websites. Look, just because this went down recently doesn't mean that it sucks. It's not it. Limit Break Digital, like I said, we've all got a guy, and Jay's mine, and he still is mine. If things change because of his handling of the site going down, I'll let you know. But I don't really see that happening. I really don't. I think he does a great job. I think he's going to continue to do a great job, and I think Yergs.com is going to be back up soon enough. I think what happened was WordPress has a new has upgrades, has some like major upgrades, new versions and such, and I don't think Yergs.com is upgraded. And I think that's why it's down. I'll call him and get on it with it about it. Aroma by Peter, aromabypeter.com/Yergs for discounts on scented candles and wax melts. That's what we burn here. That's why my house smells great. In addition to the fact that I keep it clean, that's why it is why we still smell great. Capital One and Chase Bank. Capital One, if you need a credit card, again, I think I'll put the referrals themselves. That's what I'm going to do. I forgot about that. I'll put the links themselves on those pages. And you can get them there until Yergs.com is back up. So Capital One, you know the saying, what's in your wallet? I just had an issue with them, and they rectified it like before the phone call was even over. Chase Bank, if you're looking for a new checking account, click on that link that I'll provide in my social media for Chase Bank, and for opportunity to get $300 back when you open a new Chase checking. Thursday, my Frontier Internet gets upgraded, and I can refer you for a $150 gift card to get your internet upgraded by going to Frontier. If you're also a content provider or content creator, I've got a link for you for Rumble. They've been giving us an amazing audience, and time to go. That's it. Also, check out Podmatch, and like we said before, Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Join podmatch.com/Yergs for your opportunity to bring excellent talent to your show, or to be excellent talent on somebody else's show. That's it, gang. Thanks for joining and running with the big dogs and going up the middle. I'll see you again tomorrow for Translating Trump. And
wake up, goddammit!
Yeah, wake up. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow. I love that she wants to be in my lap.